again for joining us on such a short notice. And I hope.
Thank you so much for reaching out.
So you are based out of Delhi?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you're like this office is in Delhi only, right?
It's in Gurgaon, correct?
Gurgaon. Okay. Okay. So why not choose Bangalore? Why Gurgaon?
Okay, so because I am from Gurgaon, I was in Pune for
Acha. Okay.
a few times. I like the location, though it didn't suit me that much. I worked there for almost an year. Then I came back. I like Gurgaon much better than any other place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I change it? Try to make it more visible. Yeah.
I think this is fine.
I think this is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, comparatively okay. Yeah. So Priya, welcome once again, and we'll just start the session. It will be a very brief session, maybe max 15 to 20 minutes. We just like to know more from you, and of course, if anything is for me, I will be more than happy to answer.
Surely.
So Priya, we'll just start with your like what you did, like in terms of graduation, post graduation, and how did you ended up with this co-living space?
Sure. So not very, interesting story to put, but yes, for me, of course, it is. So basically, I did my graduation from Gurgaon itself. That was from MD University,
Mm-hmm.
BCom it was, and then I did my MBA from ILM University, which is again in Gurgaon. Then, after completing my studies, I joined the startup which was into co-living,
Mm-hmm.
and co-living was like introduced to India in 2015,
Mm-hmm.
and I stepped into it by luck, by chance, whatever you say. And I got very good guidance from my mentors, and the kind of people I got from there. So the company name was Coho. I don't know if you have heard about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I know. I think it's very prominent in Bangalore also.
Correct, correct. So they have presence in Delhi NCR and Bangalore. So I was taking care of the entire sales function of Coho. I joined them as a early team member. I joined in 2015. I worked there for almost 4.5 years there, almost.
Okay.
I met my partner come husband there itself.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Great.
that was
Great.
the interesting one. We stayed there. We experienced first-hand co-living, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how obviously we were working for the co-living brand. Our love for the co-living in itself become more you can say powerful. And
Mm-hmm.
then I got married. Obviously, later on, I shifted to Pune along with my husband. Then I worked for another startup. In between, I did the consultancy for the startup, which was women specific co-living startup. There was one person trying to start that, so that was Delhi based again.
Okay.
And then in Pune, it was the Kovi. That's another company who is trying to establish themselves in Pune and Bangalore specifically.
Okay.
So there I worked for almost a year or so, and being working there for almost 6 years into the co-living industry, I got to know a lot of drawbacks also, because I was on the front end side. So I got to know what kind of people actually looking for the place, what are the kind of difficulties they are having in terms of. So we are not really a co-living space, but we are an aggregator come sales platform for the co-living spaces. So it's just
Okay.
like Trivago for hotels,
Ha ha ha.
like that. So it's much more than that, because the industry in itself is very new. Till now, people are not really aware of co-living, as in they consider this as a PG hostel only.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's not really the concept. So what we are trying to do with our platform Convivo is to become the largest search platform plus the research platform. We want to become the face of co-living, so that from our website we want to create an ecosystem from where one can get all the knowledge related to the co-living. So we want to create that thing. So if we talk about the operators, so the gap that we are trying to solve here is, there's a user who is looking for an accommodation. There's an operator who wants demand, supply, light services, a lot more, obviously. because again industry is itself a new, right? So they're also learning day by day that what things can help them. We help them in research also, we help them in acquisition of properties based on what kind of demand is there, depending on the budget, depending on the criteria that people are looking for. So initially it was more, when co-living was introduced, it was more like people were having male specific properties, female specific. Now
Yeah.
they move to couple friendly properties. They're also exploring the families kind of structure. Now families are also appreciating this kind of structure wherein everything is taken care of.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just that education is something that people need for this particular project. So that is what we are.
Okay, so when I talk about these other competitors, like I have seen many co-living spaces in Bangalore, like you must have known
A
Zo,
lot.
yeah, Zostels, and I don't know, Zostel hai, Zoho hai, and
Correct.
yeah, so there are I think there are Stay Abode, Grexter, and all those players. So how do you really differentiate you from them?
So, as I said, we are not a co-living player, right? We are the platform for the co-living players. So, Stay Aboard, Coho, Kovi, FF21, The Hub, all these co-living, operators are our partners. So we help them in growing, the co-living itself. So we help
Okay.
them with the properties, we help them with the people who are looking for places, we help them with the research part, we help them in various things. So
Okay.
if somebody wants to collaborate in terms of with colleges, with hostels, or with people who are providing services which are related to co-living, right? So we want to become the one-stop solution for the co-living players basically.
Got
So
it.
we
Got it.
don't have our own properties, we don't run properties, we just help them in selling the properties.
Okay, okay. And
Yeah.
after this, I think there has been a very big question in the last 6 to 8 months. What now? What after COVID? Will people be really looking for these things?
Correct. So everybody was, very spectacle at that point of time, as in they didn't want to share the place and all that thing. But fortunately for the co-living industry, I think now people have started appreciating the concept because what it offers is not just the shared space. It offers their community has also been digitalized, which they used to do earlier it was like offline events and all that kind of thing. Now the industry has also moved from offline to online. Then in terms of services, people do appreciate that thing. If in case for example, PGs are not in demand right now, though flats are, right? And more than flats, what co-living offers is like they offer flats along with the services, right? So that is like a plus 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 kind of thing for them. So that's why people are coming back to this point. So earlier the properties that these operators were having, these were like independent bungalows wherein they were having twin sharing, triple sharing room kind of structure. Now they have also realized that after COVID, what exactly people are looking for is like maybe a 3 BHK apartment. In that, you give them one single room or maybe maximum a twin sharing room if two friends are coming, right? Then they're comfortable. But the best thing is they're professionally managed. They have taken all the measures in terms of cleanliness and all that thing, and they have somebody whom they can talk to in terms of if some medical emergency arises, if some issue arises related to the property. So if for example you shift to a PG or an apartment, there were more you can say issues like that, and in between issues also comes. But in case of co-living, that does not happen because there is someone whom you can talk to, you can get these things resolved. So yeah, people are getting matured in terms of getting these kind of properties now.
Okay, but in these things, don't you think the legal responsibilities lie with the owner or the building? I don't know, because let's say something happens to someone, will they be after? Let's say the law will be after the owner, or that would directly be concerned to that person. Okay, something happened to him.
So typically, if anything happens in between the people, so they have this agreement which they do when the when they arrive at the property. So it's basically like mutual understanding is something that these people want to create, and that's why now they have introducing a lot more technology in terms of roommate matching. They have this option to choose your roommate in terms of by actually checking what kind of interest that the other people are
What?
having. Yeah, so that is
Okay.
very interesting trend which has started happening. A lot of innovation is happening under this. So there are many apps also. Blink is one whom we are partnering with right now. So what they're doing is they're creating their own community through which people can communicate with each other in terms of when they're moving the cities, or if they're staying in one apartment or something like that.
Okay.
So that's another community which is getting created now.
Great, great, great. I can only relate with matrimonial sites. Okay. Your preferred partner and all those things.
Correct. But yeah, of course, it is required. When you're sharing the space with somebody, it's for the long term. It's not for a 1 day or two, right? So yeah,
Mhm.
that is kind of innovation that these people have done, and that's very great.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
great. Okay, so if I may ask you, like, not just as a co-founder of this company, or okay, you have worked in this company, do you really think, because we have seen big hospitality models or real estate models coming down, whether you talk about WeWork, we talk about OYO, so do you
Correct.
think these models are sustainable? If yes,
See,
how?
of course. So see, now if I talk about co-living in itself, it's on the experimental stage only right now, to be very honest. Co-working is doing good, though there are players who have not been able to do because they haven't, decided on their business model maybe rightly on right time.
Mhm.
Because of the COVID thing also, things have changed. So it has been positive plus negative for, I think, most of the players. We
Mhm.
have also seen the trends like in Bangalore and Pune, it was more, on the good side, but Delhi NCR was, hit by it. I don't know what was the reason behind it, but
Mhm.
the kind of responses that we are also getting. So we are getting good responses from that side of the India, but not particularly from the north side. So now that people have started coming back, that's a different thing altogether. But the model is just sustainable because see what right now is happening is there. As I said, there are a lot of innovations are happening. There are different companies which are particularly working on educating people about this particular concept and making this concept a new way of living, right? Because how the world is changing, the product should be according to that. It should
Yeah, yeah.
not be think like maybe for the next 5 years I'm thinking the people would think like that and I should make a product like that. It should be like I don't know if you have heard about that city which is being created in Dubai. So it's a prime example of this particular industry growing up. So
Okay.
now, yeah. So here also, we are getting this kind of, feeling that now people are moving, independently. More independent apartments are required. More apartments wherein people can have people whom they can, relate to. They want to share the space with them. And after COVID, actually, one interesting thing happened. We got to realize, one thing that independence is not the only thing, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
we also came back. Most of us have came back to our home, right? So
Mhm.
we need people actually, right?
Yeah.
We are human being, and for some time we need our privacy and all that thing. But community is something which now people have started realizing it. So yeah, a lot of things are happening. Colive is one company which is doing, a lot of research abroad also. So we have their members in terms of gauging the interest from various countries in terms of how co-living is growing, not just in India but everywhere. It's a very new concept, and that's why more innovations are happening in this particular thing. So it will have their own impact on it.
Yeah, yeah. I think here, I think market research will one of the primarily thing. I think
Correct.
looking and researching on the demographics, what people
Correct.
want, because I think maybe in Delhi NCR people are more open-minded comparatively when you go a little bit south. I think
Correct.
things
Correct.
will matter with time, right?
Right. And now that people are moving out, they have their, mindset also changing. And if
Hmm.
you're, able to see the future that, yeah, this is how the world is changing. So now I don't know if you have heard about this senior living concept is also coming in, right?
Okay.
So earlier it was, people were not very comfortable, or they were saying that why a person who is aged more than 60 would need such a place. But
Mm-hmm.
we have seen companies doing that thing, and now their childrens are moving abroad, so they also
Mm-hmm.
need care and all that thing. So if provided maybe a budget accommodation with all their services, whatever they might need, whatever the care they might need, so the concept will work out any which ways. And that's why I'm saying more innovations, whatever you can think about it in the near future, what kind of demand might come, and you
Mm-hmm.
accordingly change your product. If you're not changing it, then obviously there are few companies which got shut down in co-living also.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's only been 4 or 5 years, but yeah, a lot of companies have been shut down because they didn't change themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's a very prime example.
Okay. So as far as your startup is concerned, is it still a bootstrap startup or you're looking for out for fundings and all?
So right now we are not, though we have got very good response. But to be very honest, we are very very new to in the industry. So we are also learning from last 6 and more than that actually months. We have been doing the research and all that thing. It's only been 2 months that we have full fledged launched it. But yeah, the response is very good, and we are getting people who are reaching out to us in terms of investment, in terms of collaborations, and being part of such communities. As I said, the co-live company which is doing the research on the co-living itself. So this is giving us that power, that confidence to grow. So let's just see. Right now, obviously, I don't think, because in our company we don't really need investment as of now. It's all like our product is what, our website. We don't need any investment in terms of buying the
Yeah.
property or leasing out and all that thing.
Okay. So you're working with your husband in this, or you're working as
Yeah,
a
so my husband is a part of this thing, so he takes care of the finance part. Typically I takes care of the collaborations and investment and all that thing.
okay, great,
Yeah.
great. Because so my last question will be: ki we have seen a lot of shared economy spaces in the past. Whether you talk about Ola, Uber, even the rental space, like even in the furniture. I think from the furniture, from whatnot, even the clothing, wardrobe, and all those things.
Correct, correct, correct.
Yeah. So all the logics which we discussed, like okay, these are the things which can make it work. Do you think it work for the same for all the other industries as well?
I think it's a bit different in terms of, it's a long term decision, right? So renting anything else is like a short term thing. When in, you take either Ola or you rent any, you can say furniture or maybe a dress, that's a, decision which you can take like this.
Yeah, yeah.
While renting a place, there are different things which are involved, and currently people who are in the age of between say 20 to 35 or so, they are appreciating more of renting the spaces. Though we have read very good stories about how millennial mindset is changing. People are now not interested in investing too much into the real estate. They have what they want to invest in. Maybe they want to travel, maybe they want to invest in educating themselves, or a lot more new things, right? Into their passion, building two three things all together, rather than investing in the these kind of things like real estate and all that. So people are moving towards renting function also. So it's a bit different if we talk about other industries, for sure. It's a long term decision.
Thank you,
So
Priya.
my plan is like that. So I don't want to own any house, though my in-laws have their own house. But yeah, my thought process is like, okay, I want to explore more cities. I want to explore more countries, wherein I would be able to get in touch with people from different culture. So that is what my future I have decided for myself, and a lot more people have decided the same, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
otherwise it's like a baggage to yourself, which you carry. Okay, there my house is, I have to be there and all that thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've also seen like very calculations by many travelers. Okay, is it? I think many more videos are coming up. Okay, is it more wise to buy a house or to rent a house? And I think most of the cases it's rent a house.
Correct, correct.
So I
But
think
that's a
that's
very wise decision. That's how, millennials and Zoomers have started thinking about it.
yeah, and
Their
even
mind
I
has
think
been
even
changed.
even if you have a choice between buying a maybe flat or buying just a piece of land, I think buying a piece of land is always more wise for as per me. I don't know
Correct.
because for flat the real ownership does not come, let's say, for the next 15-20 years while you are paying the EMIs, and
Correct.
something unfortunate happens and all just gone in as if.
And why do you want to have EMIs on your head? Why
Yes, yes,
why do you
yes,
want to have it?
yes,
Right? You,
yes.
you don't want to.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that is what.
So thanks a lot, Priya. I think that was a really brainstorming session, good brainstorming session. I got
Right.
to know a lot of more, okay, how the things are happening, what are new trends are coming. And so what else do you like apart from, of course, doing work, traveling?
Okay, traveling is one thing, though I have not been able to, travel so much. But yeah, I hope my business will give me that opportunity.
Thanks to COVID, yeah, they
Yeah,
just seized their passports for the last 1 year.
correct, correct. Now the things have started coming back to the normal situation, so let's hope for the best.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's the best part of humanity. We always kicks back.
Correct, correct, correct. I love talking to
Anything?
people.
Yeah, even I love talking to people. Anything,
Great.
Priya, I would love to answer.
Yeah, yeah. If you can just give me a brief, how you guys are working, what have been your journey till now?
So if you are asking particularly about me, so I've been a graduate from BITS. I know I don't know if
Doing the job, obviously, right now we are not making that much of money, and it was very difficult to make that decision
yes,
because our
yes.
parents were also against it, right? Because every parent has their own, thing. Okay, now you're married, you get
Yeah,
settled
yeah,
and all that thing. But yeah,
yeah, yeah.
we
It
both are not.
happens all there. Even
Yeah,
I'm from a middle class background. It happens. मतलब कुछ
correct.
आप सोचो भी तो पेरेंट्स को लगता है ये पागल हो गया है.
Correct, correct.
Yes,
They need
क्या
that
कर रहे हो?
security. They need that security, In startups, obviously,
Yes.
you don't have that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So वही होता है. So maybe to an extent, I think one should always maybe jump into this when you have a cushion to fall back on. कि
Correct.
मतलब अगर मैं गिरता हूँ, I have those much of savings. Okay, I can sustain myself. I can any day get a job. बट
Right.
लास्ट में वो एक 3 इडियट्स का डायलॉग है ना, वो लास्ट में 10-15 साल बाद वो मलाल नहीं रहना चाहिए कि काश उस दिन वो कर लिया होता.
Correct. Correct.
so
Interesting. So
so
you have
that's
your own YouTube channel that you said.
yeah, I have my own YouTube channel. It's a very new channel, to be honest.
Okay.
I started during COVID only.
Okay.
It's called the Pseudo BITSian, and I have around 10 to 12 videos already on there. We have with interviews with international chess players, we have with national level
Yeah.
models, and we have two of my friends who works. One works with LinkedIn in Silicon Valley, USA. One is studying in McGill, Canada. So
Okay.
we're talking to great people, and let's see where it goes. I'm just liking
Yeah.
it right now. It's
All the very best.
yeah, thank you,